Danny DeVito just turned 80, but his journey through life has been far from a celebration. Beneath the humor and success lies a story marked by rejection, pain, and an unrelenting will to survive. From the moment he was born in Neptune, New Jersey in 1944, the odds were against him. His mother, Julia, already a mother to several children at 40, openly admitted later in life that she didn't want another child. "I didn't want him," she confessed, a statement that could break any spirit. But instead, it became Danny's drive. That sense of being unwanted never really left him. It lingered, shaping the boy who would one day make the world laugh. At home, things weren't any easier. His father, Daniel Sr., ran a candy shop by day and was a well-liked man in Asbury Park. But after dark, fueled by alcohol, he became someone else entirely. Loud, volatile, and sometimes violent, his father's rages left young Danny in fear. He learned how to detect the shift, the sound of clinking bottles, the change in footsteps. Sometimes he'd hide in closets. Other times he fled to neighbors for safety. Between 1950 and 1955, the police were called to their home 17 times. These traumatic years would later fuel his lifelong decision to stay sober, and eventually inspired him to start a support initiative called Little Giants in 1992, which has helped thousands of children from homes like his. By 14, Danny realized he needed to escape. His neighborhood was decaying, gripped by drugs. Heroin had already taken 2 of his childhood friends before they turned 16. Determined to survive, he worked odd jobs, saved $237, and enlisted the help of a local priest to convince his parents to let him attend a Catholic prep school. He timed the request carefully, asking when his father was sober and his mother most remorseful. That single decision saved his life. Of his group of childhood friends, only 3 made it to adulthood without ending up in prison or lost to addiction. Danny's physical pain was another hidden battle. He was diagnosed with Fairbanks disease, a rare genetic disorder that stunted his growth and left him in constant pain. At just 4 feet 10 inches, his joints ached constantly. His hips, knees, and back often throbbed with pain levels most would rate a 6 or 8 out of 10. But he never let it stop him. He did his own stunts. He collapsed multiple times while filming One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, passing it off as part of his performance. He refused painkillers and quietly donated over $12 million toward treatment research for others battling similar conditions, never asking for credit or recognition. Before the spotlight ever found him, Danny worked as a beautician. He clocked over 1,500 hours in beauty school, graduating second in his class. He worked in his sister's salon, humorously named Curl Up and Die. His skills were so sharp that customers booked him months in advance, and he even won awards for his signature Neptune twist. Ironically, it was while doing a client's hair that he met a theater producer who suggested he audition for a play. That moment would change the course of his life. Initially, Danny didn't want to act. He just wanted to learn makeup. But when the American Academy of Dramatic Arts asked him to perform a monologue, he gave it a shot. They didn't just accept him, they offered him a partial scholarship. 3 days later, he accepted. Soon, he was living in New York with a roommate, none other than Michael Douglas. They shared a cockroach-infested apartment with no heat, barely scraping together $75 for rent. Douglas never mentioned he was the son of Kirk Douglas. They lived on stale bread and canned beans and used their last $27 to print headshots. While Douglas landed roles, Danny faced constant rejection. 248 auditions in 3 years, with only 3 minor jobs to show for it. He took on strange gigs just to survive. Parking cars, posing as a mannequin, and cleaning animal cages at the LA Zoo. He lived in his VW Beetle, showered at the YMCA, and read lines to chimpanzees just to keep his skills sharp. He kept all this to himself. Hollywood wanted to change him. Agents urged surgery to alter his height and face. One studio offered him the modern equivalent of $1 million to comply. He burned the contract on a beach bonfire. "I'd rather be a first-rate version of myself than a second-rate version of someone else," he once said. Eventually, Michael Douglas helped him land a role in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Danny had already played the same character, Martini, in a stage version. The film was shot in a real mental hospital, and DeVito's performance, just under 6 minutes of screen time, left a lasting impact. Director Milos Forman fought to keep him in the cast, despite studio pushback. The movie won 5 Oscars. Danny didn't get nominated, but he was finally recognized. Then came Taxi in 1978. He turned down 3 film roles to audition for the sitcom. His agent warned it was career suicide. Danny trusted his instincts. He read a monologue at the audition that stunned everyone. Creator James L. Brooks threatened to quit if ABC didn't cast him. Danny didn't even ask for more money. He just wanted the part, and it paid off. Within 8 episodes, he was receiving over 11,000 fan letters. His character, Louis De Palma, was crass, loud, and unapologetically awful, and viewers adored him. He funneled real-life rejection and frustration into each scene, preparing by listing the names of every person who'd ever doubted him. His portrayal helped him win a Golden Globe and an Emmy. During that time, he met Rhea Perlman. She wasn't even there for him. She came over to break up with his roommate. They talked for 6 hours and within 3 weeks moved in together. She later joined Taxi, and though few knew it, their on-screen chemistry was very real. They started Jersey Films quietly in 1983 while still working on the show, and vowed never to go more than 2 weeks without creating something together. After Taxi ended, Danny took film by storm. Terms of Endearment, Romancing the Stone, The Jewel of the Nile, and Ruthless People. He wasn't afraid to take wild roles. He even insisted on directing Throw Mama from the Train in exchange for acting in it. The project succeeded. Then came Twins in 1988 with Arnold Schwarzenegger. It sounded absurd but grossed over $216 million. Danny didn't take a salary, he gambled on back-end profits and won big. In 1992, he became the Penguin in Batman Returns. Covered in prosthetics for hours, he gave one of his most memorable performances. That same year, he directed Hoffa, a heavy drama with Jack Nicholson. Behind the scenes, he helped build Jersey Films into one of the most respected indie studios of the 90s. They backed Pulp Fiction when no one else would. Quentin Tarantino promised he'd make it feel like a $25 million movie, even though it had a budget of just $8 million. It became a cultural phenomenon. In 1996, Danny directed and starred in Matilda. What audiences didn't see was the compassion behind the scenes. Child star Mara Wilson was quietly dealing with her mother's illness, and Danny and Rhea became like surrogate family, even showing Wilson's mother a cut of the film before she passed. He continued with bold personal projects like Man on the Moon, portraying Andy Kaufman's manager, drawing from his real-life relationship with Kaufman on Taxi. But through all of it, Danny was living with Fairbanks disease. Endless surgeries, constant pain. He kept quiet for decades. Hollywood warned him to hide it. They told him weakness would cost him work. So he endured. Even on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, he often collapsed after scenes, but pushed through anyway. He sold his Beverly Hills estate in 2015. His children were grown, and the sale marked the close of a family era. In 2006, at age 62, he joined It's Always Sunny, a role that revived his fame with a new generation. He didn't take a massive paycheck. He just wanted to have fun. His on-set antics became legendary, sliding naked across floors, emerging from couches drenched in sweat, even bathing in trash water. But the physical toll was real. In 2010, nearly half his filming days began with hours of therapy. One waterslide scene in 2011 left him with burst blood vessels in his eye. In 2012, after 30 years of marriage, he and Rhea separated. They reconciled briefly in 2013, trying again until 2017 before parting ways for good, but never divorcing. They stayed close. They lived just a mile apart, dined together twice a week, and even shared a Netflix account. In 2023, Danny donated $500,000 to the New Jersey hospital where he was born, a full circle moment. Over the years, Danny DeVito has used his platform to speak out on healthcare, the environment, and inclusion in Hollywood. Rumors suggest his honesty has cost him roles. Some believe his openness about disability has made him a target. In 2025, an appearance on Jimmy Kimmel Live went viral after an on-air argument erupted. Clips flooded social media. Some praised his raw truth. Others called it a meltdown. Fellow comedians defended him. Danny didn't apologize. Instead, he posted, "Sometimes the truth isn't easy to hear, especially under the lights." Today, Danny is still creating. He's producing a docu-series with his kids and starring in It's Always Sunny. He's a man who refused to be anyone but himself, even when the world asked him to change. His story isn't just about fame. It's about perseverance, pain, and the quiet strength of being unapologetically human.